Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. Thanks for stopping by to watch this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please do hit the subscribe button. Please like the video. Please share the video. And please donate. Right, let's move on. So, the Tunde Ajayi story continues. The manager and trainer of the unbeaten Anthony Yarde, who's been coming under fire for not facing top opposition. In fact, there have been some quarters that have been calling Yarde's last opponent a bum. Well, Tunde Ajayi is not having it. In fact, I'll tell you what Tunde is saying on his Instagram page right now. So we get out. So it says, got a picture of Anthony Yarde hitting Sek, who looks like a right hand. And this is what it says. This is from Tunde Ajayi's Instagram account. Listen and listen well. This should be fun. Myself and Anthony would like to take this opportunity to wish our opponent from Saturday night, Mr. Yarde'S Sek, at Yarde'S Sek, all the best in his future career. Some people have had no appreciation for the sport and the combatants who put everything on the line had called Mr. Sek disrespectful names such as a bum, taxi driver, etc. But let me remind them of some of Sek's credentials below. Yarde'S Sek started boxing at 13, had 200 plus amateur bouts. 2004 Polish Junior Championship, 64 kilograms. 2005 Polish Championships, welterweight. 2006 Polish Championship, welterweight. 2007 Polish Championships, middleweight, quarterfinals. 2007 World Championship, Chicago, middleweight. This against Mohamed Hikali, 17-11, won Wang Jazenbek. This is the same Hikal who beat Gennady Golovkin in 2005 World Championships, 2008 European Olympic qualifier win versus Stefan Gunnarsson and Naim Turbajan, which, sorry for pronouncing his name, Sweden. But you can read this all off the Instagram. 2008 European Championship, Liverpool, middleweight. 2008 Polish Championships, light heavyweight semi-final. Got to the semi-finals. 2009 Polish middleweight final. All these shows two things. Yarde'S is an accomplished boxer. Two, Anthony proved once again that even with his lack of experience, he most certainly is one of the best prospects in the sport of boxing today. Do your homework, do your research before you criticize. Tunde Ajayi. So people's comments are well said. No person says, don't know why they think they can manage someone else's career when they can barely manage their own. Then no person says, people that don't fight always talk shit. Then this says, try getting smashed in the face for a living just for one day. And then no one says, Stead says, forget the haters. You could come see Anthony's opponent was game as they come. The man didn't stop. You can't be a taxi driver and last that long as with Mr. Anthony Yarde. End of fair play to Yarde'S man can take a beating, not just on the same level as proved. Now, I will add to this and say, a lot of you people in there that know boxing or think you know boxing, right? Forget that Anthony Yarde had 12 novice bouts. 12 novice bouts. If you can equate to what 12 novice, not 12 senior bouts, 12 novice bouts. Right? We don't know whether he could even won an ABA championship at senior level. This is novice. So you're still working with a relative novice who's doing very well. He's a great prospect, and that's what Anthony Yarde is. So for those people who want to jump up and say that Anthony Yarde's not fighting the best opposition, blah, 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 blah. they obviously do not understand the business of boxing and do not understand the managing of a fighter. And so in this situation, I understand where Tunde Ajayi is coming from. I think if you look at the guys that the experience Seka's got, if Yard had that set of experience and he was fighting the way they was fighting now, then I understand why is he not fighting. But as Tunde Ajayi rightly responded to, the next fight, because Callum Johnson is going to vacate the British and Commonwealth titles, the next fight potentially, if not in September, then at the end of the year, could well be for a British title fight or a Commonwealth Championship fight. Now, I know a lot of people are talking about Hosea Burton, but have you done your research? Have you looked at Hosea Burton's last 3 fights? Hosea Burton's last 3 fights, okay? So Hosea Burton got knocked up by Frank Buglioni. So if Yard now went on and beat Hosea Burton, who everyone's asking for, what are you going to tell me? What was Hosea Burton's last win? He got knocked up by Frank Buglioni. So then you'll say that Yard's got to beat Frank Buglioni. But Frank Buglioni just got knocked up by Callum Johnson, who's now going to fight for the world title. So, I mean, to me, what's the rush to fight Burton? What's so special about Hosea Burton? Hosea Burton, as Tunde Ajayi was saying, should take a rematch with Buglioni and clean that up and sort that out. Hearn said Johnson will defend his British title if he loses the Burton. Okay, good for him. So then there's always the Commonwealth title as well. So I think he's British champion and Commonwealth title. One of those titles will be on the line for sure, because Frank has already mentioned there'll be a title fight at the end of the year. Frank's no mug. So Frank will deliver a title shot at the end of the year. Whether it be a world title shot, I don't know. I think they're more likely to probably go down a Commonwealth, British route, Commonwealth, or the European route. Any one of those 3 routes, I think that Yard's team will take at the end of the year. I think Yard's come a long way for somebody who's only had 12 novice bouts. And if you do your boxing research and you really think about it, I mean, some of you just want to see Anthony Yard get beat. I'm not interested in hearing that. If you really go and do your boxing research and you tell me how many guys that have had a limited amateur experience have gone on and beat guys in the pros who've had very good amateur experience. You name me, the last 3 fights, Luke Watkin against Lawrence Okoli. Talk to me about the statistics before the amateur bouts that Okoli had and the amateur bouts that Chamberlain had and their experience, and then put them together in a ring and see what happened. Again, Lawrence Okoli versus Luke Watkin. Look at the amateur bouts that Luke Watkins had. Look at the amateur bouts and experience that Okoli had. Look at the results as a pro. Another example, O'Hara Davis against Josh Taylor. That everyone was rushing O'Hara Davis to fight Josh Taylor. What did that prove? What did that prove? Most of you wanted O'Hara Davis to fight Josh Taylor. The fight was made. O'Hara gets beat, and then you call O'Hara a bum. Really? When O'Hara Davis wasn't ready for Josh Taylor. But you boxing fans, you know-it-alls who know how to manage your career, said it was right for O'Hara Davis, and he's still rebuilding from that Josh Taylor thing. So what for? What for? To prove, to please you lot? No. I like the way Tunde Ajayi is doing his thing. It's all about building your fighter and building your fighter the right way. He's the manager. He's the trainer. And it'll be interesting to see if you over there that had a career managing fighters, whether you would manage your fighter the same way that you're asking all these other fighters to manage. These are the same people that would accept what Dave Allen has done with his career, fighting Luis Ortiz and Dillian Wyatt, and now fighting this guy Yoka, and say, oh, well, you know, Dave Allen's strong, he can come again. No, it's just poor matchmaking, you know. But anybody who has knowledge in boxing will tell you that. Anybody who's experienced in boxing and understands the business of boxing understand exactly what Tunde Ajayi is doing. And he's done an excellent job with Anthony Yard. How many fighters that you know? Name me one matchroom fighter, or Box Nation fighter that appears on both Box Nation shows and Sky shows commercially. So, you know, commercially they're doing great. They're doing well. They're doing the right thing. They're learning how they are marketing their fighter. They've got a product, and they are doing well with that product. So that if I had a fighter, I'd do similar things to what Yarde and he had limited amateur experience. I'd do exactly the same things Tunde Ajayi is doing. He's not falling for the okie doke. He's not listening to the whispers of what other people have got to say. Do you know what I mean? There are a lot better fighters in the world today that are fighting poor opposition, that are being allowed what they call it, people that turn a blind eye. Here's another one. Canelo has fought 11 world champions. Gennady Golovkin, that everyone jumps up and down about and sings praises about, has only beaten 5 world champions. He's 36 years old. 36 years old. 5 world champions. Canelo is much younger than him. 11 world champions. Just let that sink in. How many pound for pound greats has Golovkin fought? At least Canelo's fought Mayweather. So, you know, we can open the floodgates for one and allow whatever to go past and have that favoritism. And then if it's somebody we don't like or we hate or we dislike for a political reason, then it's not very balanced, is it? So I'd love to see them get James DeGale at 175 for Yarde. Can't see DeGale taking it though. I can't see James DeGale beating Ustaki, to be honest. I can see Ustaki either stopping DeGale or beating him on points. I can see Ustaki really knocking DeGale out. If I were James DeGale at this point in time, I'd take a Billy Joe Saunders fight as quick as possible. I'd grab the Saunders fight. So those are my thoughts. Right, that's it from me. If you've missed the show, you should have subscribed to the channel. Right, don't forget, 2 a.m. in the morning. Chicago time, 8 p.m., 2 a.m. UK time. Tomorrow morning, I'll be talking to Jessica McCaskill. I'm so looking forward to doing this interview with Jessica McCaskill, one of my favorite female fighters from Chicago. So we'll be talking to her live from Chicago in an exclusive interview, talking about her career, the Katie Taylor fight, and of course, what's going on now in her career and what she wants to do in the future. She's one of my tips to be a world champion in 2018, 2019. So let's wait and see how that works out. So back here, 2 p.m. in the morning, Jessica McCaskill, live video interview with Jessica McCaskill. Don't miss it. As for me, I'm out of here. This has been BWTM Sports. I'm out. Take care.